I thought the stadium, I mean, rather large. I mean, geez, these SEC stadiums are magnificent. That one is very big. The only problem was they played Rocky Top again and again and again. It was utterly annoying. Still like the atmosphere in Baton Rouge better when you're talking opponents that Alabama plays. Obviously, Bryant-Denny Stadium has such a crisp and, I love just the overall pageantry that exists here. And I think you're going to see that tomorrow evening with Alabama hosting, a big rival like Tennessee. So call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Earlier this week, as you saw right here on BamaInsider.com, Alabama landed Jamil Burroughs, big defensive tackle to the class of 2020. That class of 2020 certainly filling up. 22, 23 commitments. And Andrew Bone was on earlier with the recruiting scoop. We got our first call of the night. Hey, how's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, what's up, man? And I'm sorry, I missed your name.
I'm Rock Holmes. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in, man. What's on your mind, man?
I just wanted to call in and just say how impressed I've been with the young freshman on defense, and I see how it seems to me like the defense is just kind of taking a little turn if you're just watching how they're playing and how effective they're being, starting to recognize and react to the offense.
Yeah,
more than waiting back.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, first of all. And I think the defense, the Alabama defense, certainly trending upward. I think, the first couple games, the question marks were around the defense. And as Nick Saban said during his Wednesday night press conference, a lot of this isn't necessarily on Pete Golding. A lot of this is because of the youth that Alabama has. And losing a player like Dylan Moses, that's monumental. That's losing a coach on the field. So Shane Lee, Christian Harris, those guys, it's going to take time for those guys to understand the level of, competition that they're playing against. Obviously, those guys are ready, but I certainly agree that Alabama's defense has turned the corner, and especially those young guys, I think they're coming around, and I'm happy to see it, because the back end of Alabama's schedule is certainly a gauntlet.
Exactly. And just looking at them going forward, some of the teams that we're playing, you have to kind of be optimistic about it, because I don't really see a dominant defense just really dominant in the way. I see some good defenses, but none that can't be attacked, whether it be on the ground or through the air, and definitely through the air. Like a lot of teams that they'll see going forward, Bama will be able to move the ball, And then as far as our defense is facing those offenses, I just don't see an offense yet, not one that their defense won't grow and be able to hold up against. I don't see them being pushed around towards the late end like a lot of people, a lot of critics think. I don't see it the way they're trending.
Now, let me ask you about this. I know, obviously, Alabama taking on Tennessee, and, that's the game this Saturday. But the game that all eyes are focused on is Alabama and LSU, and that's probably rat poison considering Alabama has 2 games before they play LSU, including a bye week. But that offense looks pretty solid. Joe Burrow doing a great job, and then the LSU secondary, filled with veterans and a couple youthful guys. But when you look at that matchup, in your opinion, is LSU? What's your thoughts? Are they finally the team that can come into Bryant-Denny and give these guys a run?
Honestly, in my opinion, when you say rat poison, I think LSU is really, really taking in the rat poison. They're drinking it down, man, full cup, all the way, head tilted back, just down in the rat poison. The offense is looking great, but I look at who they're playing, the level who they're playing, and I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Burroughs looks nice, but Northwestern State, Texas, their secondary is hurt and depleted, and some of the other teams, if you're just looking at their defensive rankings and then look at that team offensively ranking, LSU should have. I expect them to beat those teams like that, and they haven't necessarily been challenged the way they will when they start playing Auburn defensively and Alabama defensively and some of these other teams that have coming up. Florida defensively ranks good, but I also look at the level of competition they play offensively, and some of those teams offensively weren't great. And Florida, Trask is a good quarterback, but he's a second string quarterback facing LSU.
No,
And LSU do have a great secondary. They're not as great as they were last year, and they've been susceptible to a lot of passes. A lot of I've watched teams move the ball on them through the air pretty effectively. Even Northwestern State was able to move the ball on them pretty effectively, for the level of competition FCS school against LSU. I mean, I expect it to be a good game, but I'll give Alabama a 18-point win, LSU, to be fair. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that's a lot of confidence. Now when we bring it back and talk about this Alabama team, if you have a second half player that you feel is going to rise up for Alabama, whether it be on the offensive side or the defensive side, kind of, a lesser-known player, who do you think that's going to be as we get to the later part of the season? Who's a player that you feel is going to step up that is somewhat trending upward right now, in your opinion?
I feel like Barmore is trending up.
Mm-hmm.
I really like what I'm seeing from Christian Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Battle looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Battle's actually played great all season. Maybe just one misjudged ball.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interception in the end zone between him and I think it was Carter. It's just an inch, 1 inch, and that was an interception. So I really see a couple players. I expect Shaheem Carter to play a lot better towards the end of the season, same way he did last year. I mean, he was solid. So, everyone else is pretty much, we know who we have. Lewis is looking great. He looks like he's coming on strong. But pretty much Barmore and Christian Harris, I believe towards the end of the year, they're gonna be, laying some wood.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I appreciate the call. I got to run on the next call, but thank you so much for calling in. Please call again next time.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy. All right, yeah, I think when you look at second-half players that are trending upward, I think Christian Barmore is obvious. I think the way that Terrell Lewis played in this last game was phenomenal. I think he played like a top, NFL draft pick, probably top 15. I think he just has the overall ability to really change the game for Alabama. I think with him and Anthony Jennings on the outside, bringing pressure on the quarterback, I think that's the game changer. Call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Let me know in the comment box who you feel is going to be this second-half player who really stands out, whether it be on the offense or defensive side. Kind of stay away from the obvious. Kind of curious to get your take on a player that we might be sleeping on. Maybe Chris, I see you on the comment box. Can't make out your name, but Chris Allen. Did you see the way Chris Allen hit Kellen Mond in this last game? Seriously, hit him right in the sternum, implanted him into the turf. That hurt. All right, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Jared from Buffalo, man.
Hey, Jared, good to hear from you, man. You got the Broncos and the Chiefs, man, but you're carving out some time to jump on the call-in show. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, yep. I had to mute the TV a little bit. It was a little loud.
So what's on your mind, man?
I wanted to kind of piggyback about, because I caught on during the Alabama LSU conversation. What were you guys talking about? You guys were talking about LSU being a real contender? Or?
I mean, I just think, all the focus is on this Alabama and LSU game, and Alabama still has 2 games and a bye week, but everyone wants to talk about that game, and rightfully so. I think overall, when you look at these two teams, I think, they're comparable in the sense that they both have skill guys, both have a very good quarterback, as you've seen in all of the in the midseason All-American predictions. It's Joe Burrow over Tua Tagovailoa, which is not too much of a head scratcher, probably more for clicks than anything. I think we all know who the best quarterback is, and that's not being fancy. That's just, kid's thrown one interception through 6 games, and he's breaking records at a record pace. I think the thing with this game is the fact, when you look at that matchup, is the fact that LSU, at least in my opinion, has one of the best secondary units, and I think that's going to be interesting to see them tangle with Alabama's fearsome foursome.
Yeah. Alabama, LSU. I can understand the hype, and Kyle, you know, I said that November 9th game was going to be that was going to be the game right there. They're literally mirror images of each other for this year. I mean, LSU is running the RPO. They're running the RPO type spread unit, and they're really playing fast-paced offense. They got a trio of receivers. They have a very experienced offensive line. Defensively, they're literally exact mirrors of each other, and defensively, and it's almost scary to the point that they're almost running the same schematics that Alabama is kind of running. So, I mean, I definitely get why that November 9th game is the point, but I definitely think that people should definitely calm down a little bit on LSU, because even though I really like LSU, they got a dangerous passing game. LSU hasn't played against a defense that has the personnel that can stop that defense. I mean, I think that Alabama, we remember, we put Alabama in the same conversation. We're stopping this offense, stopping the trio of receivers, and then we saw the key ingredients to Alabama's demise. You could beat them. You could beat them by pressing them and stacking the box and taking away those slants. Or you could play disguised coverage. You could play that hidden zone coverage to try to confuse Tua Tagovailoa, like we've seen Georgia and Clemson do. So by the time I think that game rolls around November 9th, Alabama has a key ingredient that LSU hasn't, is that they know how to stop the RPO type of offense. They know how to stop it because they can go back, look at those film tapes of the Georgia game, the Mississippi State game, and implement those same principles that those teams did against them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to, look at LSU and not take them serious. But then again, I mean, for the last couple years, I mean, Alabama has just completely dominated that group. I mean, Nick Saban has just coached in and around Orgeron. And then I think this is a major factor that Alabama has 2 weeks to prepare for LSU, right? They got that bye week before. Now, of course, Alabama's taking on Tennessee, so maybe we should talk about this Alabama and Tennessee matchup, Jarek. Alabama has won every single game since 2006. I'm not sure where you were in 2006, as I mentioned earlier in the show.
I was watching. I was watching that the Shula. I was watching that during the Shula era.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. I mean, Alabama has just completely dominated. It's the same thing next week against Arkansas for the homecoming game. Alabama has completely controlled that game. I mean, granted, Tennessee is trending upward. You got to stay away from these type of small trap games. Keys for the game tomorrow include what, Jared?
What did you say? Can you repeat that? My fault.
Keys for the game tomorrow include what when we look at Alabama versus Tennessee?
Well, first of all, they got to be motivated. I definitely think that that's definitely a key. You gotta win. This is a rivalry game, so I'm expecting them to do that. I want to see Alabama pressure. I definitely want to see Alabama continue to have that consistency of pressuring the quarterback. I would love to see Terrell Lewis, Anthony Jennings have more consistent games. I want to see more of an interior pass rush from Raekwon Davis, more of a rotation, definitely more of a rotation with Christian Barmore, more of a rotation. Would like to see maybe Justin Ebogbe or Byron Young. I've seen those guys take a lot of snaps. I would like to see some more improvement from those guys. Shane Lee, I want to see him take more command of the play calling unit. I mean, it seems like even though he's the guy, it seems like we're still having substitution and fraction penalties. It seems like the defense is still a little bit confused. I want to see Shane Lee maybe take more command of the defense, or Xavier McKinney, or one of those guys to really step up as that leader on the defense that can really straighten things out. So I want to see more consistency for that. Offensively, it's really just have a more balance. I want to see the offensive line gel, get better, have more consistency with the offensive line. And oh my God, for the love of God, Kyle, can we have a kicking game in this game? Can we make PATs? Can we make some 30-yard, 40-yard field goals? Can Skylar DeLong punt the ball more than 40 yards, or set us up a great field position for our defense? So I pretty much for this game, it's just have more. It's just follow up what we did against A&M, have more consistency, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you got to work on the consistency. And Nick Saban talked about not getting complacent and staying on task. And I think in a game like this, when you go in, you're the heavy favorite. You got to remain focused on, putting Tennessee away. And Nick Saban does a great job with that, and he does a great job with the players, making sure that they stay on track. The media, the fans included, like to talk about the next game, the game after, the SEC championship. Well, the first game that Alabama is playing, and they have to win, and they have to win pretty much every single game in college football. They have to beat Tennessee. With Georgia going down, I mean, anything can happen in college football Saturday. However, I think that Alabama definitely puts Tennessee away handedly to Saturday night. So I'm excited to see this light show too. Kind of curious to see what happens. Anything else while you're on the line, Jarek?
I'm trying to think. Is there anything I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. What do you think? Is the offensive line, is Chris Owens going to be the guy who's going to be the center position, or is that going to be Landon Dickerson's job? They're just going to keep that, that same type of rotation they did against A&M, or is Chris Owens going to jump in there, get his job back at center?
Nick Saban said tonight on the Hey Coach show that Chris Owens will be available in an emergency situation, but I think going forward, I think Landon Dickerson has locked up that center position. I think now as Alabama gets to the grunt of their schedule, I think you need the best 5 in. I think they figured that out. I think it's clear that Leatherwood, Neal, Dickerson, Deontay Brown, and the way that Deontay Brown played last game and the amount of reps that he played last game, along with Jedrick Wills Jr., I think that's the best 5. And those other guys behind them are going to add depth. But I think Landon Dickerson, when you talk guys that are breakout players or players that are trending in the right direction, he's certainly one of them. I think Landon Dickerson was a great addition to Alabama.
Yep.
And, he's proven that he can be a versatile offensive lineman, which I think you have to add him now to the 2020 mock draft. Is he a first-round guy? No, but he's going to be draftable. I mean, the kid has played his tail off this season, came from Florida State. He's a nitty-gritty kid, and, I think he's one of Alabama's best overall linemen this year.
What's gonna help him a lot, I think, for his draft stock is going to be the fact that he's played 3 different positions. I think that versatility.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Jarek. Well, I got to run in the next show. As always, thank you so much for calling. You always bring so much to the show. Everybody likes your calls. Keep calling in. I'll catch up with you Sunday evening for our Sunday night recap.
All right, Kyle. All right. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. All right, Jarek from Buffalo, one of our better callers, always calls in. Very knowledgeable caller. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. Put your score prediction in the comment box. Curious to see how you have it for Alabama and Tennessee. Alabama favored by 35 points. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. Coming to you from Voodoo Wings here in Tuscaloosa. If you haven't tried them, you better try them. I'm telling you. The wings are fantastic. As I always say, the fries are the fattest fries in all of the land. They got good fried pickles. The potato salad is memorable. So what's up, DJ? I see you, man. And I appreciate everyone jumping on the show tonight. I will catch up with you guys again on Sunday, but I'm taking your calls tonight. I want to talk to you guys about Alabama and Tennessee. I'm watching this Bronco and Chiefs game. Mahomes, I saw, went out. Wow, that's crazy. Hopefully he's all right. He's one of the most electrifying players that we've had in the game, right? That's DJ has it 51-14 Alabama. Alabama, yeah. I like that, DJ. I mean, the way that Alabama's been scoring. I mean, and really, Nick Saban could do what he wants, but then again, he's going up against another former assistant. You think about this whole season, 3 of these coaches have been former assistants, right? South Carolina, Will Muschamp coached under Saban several years ago when he was at, I believe, LSU. And then you had Jimbo Fisher, another guy who coached with him when he was at LSU. And then, now with Alabama taking on Jeremy Pruitt, who coached the defensive side of the ball. And Alabama, this is one of the most mind-blowing stats, is the fact that Nick Saban is 18-0 against former assistants. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. I assume that, Kirby Smart will have the best opportunity to do it, but now I'm not even so sure that they can get inside into the SEC championship game. So, I don't know. They'll have to beat out Florida. Yeah, Voodoo Wings, check them out. Definitely tell them Kyle Henderson at BatmanInsider.com sent you. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. You can call in. Hit me up with your score prediction, or we could just rap about Alabama's team in general. Nick Saban talked about several things during his Wednesday evening press conference, and I think this is a game where you have to remain focused. You cannot, allow Tennessee to stay in a game like this. You cannot give them any sort of confidence. I think you have to come out, put these guys away early, show them that Alabama's dynasty is strong and true, and that Jeremy Pruitt, is you got to give him a rough welcome home, so to speak, right? Jeremy Pruitt, even from Alabama, got another call coming in. How's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hunter from Hartford, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, Hunter? How you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you tonight.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Alabama takes on Tennessee. I mean, you're a long-time Alabama fan. Is this still a big rivalry game to you? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, this is one of the first games that I remember growing up as a kid, watching. I mean, besides the Auburn game, which is obvious, but it's one of the games that, I remember the last time they beat us, and I was only I'm 23, and I was like 8 or 9 years old. Last time Tennessee beat us.
Yeah. I mean, a lot has changed. A lot has changed since. So, I was asking Jarek from Buffalo keys for the game. That seems a little bit obvious. Kind of do what they do. But from a midseason standpoint, you feel that the defense is trending upward going into this next game against Tennessee?
Yeah, I think we're a little bit more healthy on that side of the ball. Of course, we're still missing LeBron Ray, but I think we're building up a little bit more consistency than what we've seen earlier on in the season, and so I'm hopeful as this game and going forward that we might be a little bit consistent going. And Nick Saban talked about that against last week against A&M. How he thought that the defense did a little bit better job of playing consistently. So maybe we'll see that. I'm hoping to see Byron Young step up a little bit more than what he has. He's made some good plays, but I'd like to see him come into a little bit better of a role for our defense.
Does the kicking game give you anxiety, Hunter, when you look at this team, or is it just something that you just come to grips with?
No, it still gives me anxiety. Every time we kick, I can't even look. So I'm like, oh, God. It's just one of those things. But I think once Phil Riker gets back and gets healthy again, I still have confidence in the kid. I mean, we just got to, us fans, we got to kind of be hopeful for these kids and try to support them, the best we can. I mean, they're kids. I mean, they're 19-year-old kids. So let's just give him a break, since he's a freshman.
Now, Hunter, the first couple callers have talked about not only Tennessee, but have also talked about that LSU game. It has to be on your mind as well. Is LSU, in your opinion, you probably watched that Florida game, you probably watched them against Texas. Is this the team that talent-wise and schematic-wise can match up with the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Talent-wise, yes. Execution-wise, I don't think so.
Sure.
I think their defensive backs are not as good as they were a year ago. And we've seen that against Texas. I think their defensive back got exposed against Texas a little bit, and even a little bit against Florida. So I don't think that their defensive backs is their strong suit. They really struggled there against Texas. And I don't think they can stop Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy and Jalen Waddle. All of them, really. They would have to stop them to be able to win this game. The worst thing that could happen is we get in a shootout with them and back and forth. But like I said, if our defense can establish some confidence coming up this week, maybe we can start rallying around them and really make them work for it for every point they earn. But then again, we have to take that into consideration where South Carolina scored some points against us. We had our second-string defense in there for most of the second half. So, of course, they're going to score some points against them. So I think that has to be taken into context. And I hear all these people on ESPN and things talk about Alabama giving up so many points. Well, some of that has been due to our second string. So we got to kind of keep that in context.
Now, in this last game, Nick Saban said that Terrell Lewis was finally close to 100%. And it looked like he was because he had 2 quarterback sacks. He also had 2 additional hurries. How important, in your opinion, is Terrell Lewis to this defense and his overall health? Because I think we really started to see that Alabama defensive pass rush that Alabama had been missing through the first several games. And then with him back, it looked like a transformed defense almost.
Yeah, I think he's one of those leadership guys. You know, when we had Dylan Moses, who was out for the rest of the season, I think he's the guy that has to step up and take the leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to play to the Alabama standard to get these young kids to want to emulate him and be on his level. So I think it's crucial that he's healthy and that he's good. And the same with Andrew Jennings. They both have to be at the top of their game to lead this defense. And this defense is only going to get better. The talent we got on this defense is too good for next year and then in the years after not to be a great defense. I really like Justin Eboigbe. I think he can really step up and provide some meaningful snaps for us going forward this season.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. I mean, when you look at the younger defensive linemen, I mean, there's a lot of guys getting in rotation. Justin Eboigbe, you got Byron Young.
Not even that.
And then you got
not even that.
Go ahead.
Not even that. You have guys like Ismail Stopshire, who hadn't even got a rep this year.
That's right.
You got some of these defensive lines, and look at the guys we're recruiting.
Yeah.
I don't know how close you follow recruiting or some of the fans on here, but I follow recruiting very closely, and the guys that we've got coming in is going to do nothing but provide more depth to this defensive line. And to these middle at positions like jack linebacker and middle linebacker. This defense can only get better.
Yeah, I think you're going to have Broswell coming in. I mean, you look at the defensive linemen that Alabama has coming in as well. I know Andrew Bone talked about kind of the backstory on Jason Jones, but with Jamil Burrows jumping on and William Anderson, who I think could be a big time guy. I mean, Timothy Smith as well. I mean, a lot of these guys from this recruiting class of 2020, I mean, they're only adding on. And like I was saying, I mean, Justin Eboigbe, Byron Young, and then how about the blossoming of Christian Barmore? A lot of people have mentioned that in the comment box. I mean, what we've seen from him, it seems like he could be that second half breakout player that completely just really rises up for Alabama's defensive line because don't get me wrong, Raekwon Davis has played well. He's played very well. But he's just not a guy that's going to get after the quarterback. I mean, I don't even think he has a sack this season. But you're going to need someone from the defensive line to get after that quarterback. And Christian Barmore, in the short time that he's played, he has shown an efficient approach to getting to the quarterback, which I think is monumental for this defensive line. You get Terrell Lewis, you get Anthony Jennings, and you get a defensive lineman who get after the quarterback. That's a pass rush.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a guy that I'm really looking forward to seeing coming in is he's a freshman this year. His name's Kevin Harris.
Oh yeah.
And this kid, if you look at his high school tapes, this guy is on another level. I think there's just too much depth at that position right now for him to be able to get any meaningful snaps, and he still probably needs some development. But that kid come next year, everybody's gonna watch out for that kid because if he gets to where he gets a chance to shine, I think he's one of those kids that's hungry. And when he gets his shot, I think he'll take full advantage of it. That kid he's going to be the real deal.
Hey, well, thank you so much. I got to run to the next caller, but thank you so much. Please call again next time. I really appreciate you jumping on the show tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, good stuff. Another good call in, back to back. Call line is open 205-686-3604. Coming to you from Voodoo Wings here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If you haven't been here, come on in, order your wings Saturday, Friday. Any of those days would be a great opportunity to get some wings from Voodoo. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this. The food is fantastic. The wings are explosive. The fries are fat. The fried pickles are tasty. And the potato salad is memorable. The banana bread pudding is something you take home to mama. So be sure and come in to Voodoo Wings. Tell them your boy Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com sent you. We're talking to Alabama and Tennessee. Alabama, a 35-point favorite. We got DJ. Go DJ. What's up, man? DJ from Ohio. Thanks for jumping on, man. How you been, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How you been?
Oh, thank you so much, man. Having a strong week, still, trying to. We're in the grind, man. This isn't. We're like middle of the season, maybe. Alabama season goes to January 13th, 2020. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of football still, man. How you been, DJ?
I've been good.
That's good, man.
My
So,
week,
so what's up,
week's
man?
been going by fast. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to Alabama getting off to a fast start against Tennessee. And normally our wide receiver have a big game, so I'm looking forward to see which wide receiver have a career day against Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean you gotta add into the fact that Devontae Smith will be out the first half too. So it's an opening for another wide receiver to step up. I would assume that we see more Jalen Waddle. It's kind of crazy to think that Jalen Waddle just saw 16 plays last game, and think about the yardage that he had. I mean, talk about you have this guy who's extremely explosive, but you can't even get him on the field because you have other guys that are just almost ready for the NFL right now.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. The depth's crazy. I'm really looking forward to seeing John Messi see what he does in this game.
I'm sorry, what was that? DJ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What'd you say, buddy?
I said I'm really looking forward to seeing John Messi and seeing what he's doing during the game.
Yeah, John Mechie is a guy that, I think a lot of people forget that he was the A-Day MVP. And you check him out, like when we post the highlights of him, everything that he does, it emulates these receivers that are currently starting for Alabama. I think that he is a guy that's certainly going to get on the field. Maybe not so much this year just because of the talent in the room, but next year I think he's going to be a guy. You look at John Mechie, you look at Jalen Waddle. I'm still waiting to see something from Terrell Shavers. We're like waiting and waiting. Maybe at some point he does something. Maybe it's just going to take a little bit of time for him to get on, but we really haven't seen too much from Shavers in his early career at Alabama.
Oh yeah, we haven't. He just got stuck behind them three great wide receivers. He came in with him. He kind of like the forgotten wide receiver of that group.
I know,
ready to see
go ahead, DJ.
Hey, I look forward to see if Cahill gonna block another kick.
Yeah. Ali Cahill, he's found his way onto the field, huh? He's like, look, if I can't, start over Christian Harris, I'm just gonna start blocking punts and doing his thing. 2 block punts. What a season he's having on special teams, which I think is important. You start blocking punts. That's big time stuff, and that's really important. As long, maybe somewhere along the road, Alabama can find a punter. Skylar DeLong seems to continue to struggle. Just really surprised that he hasn't been able to get it together. DJ, we've talked about it before with a couple of the past callers. LSU and Alabama, those two are going to, they're on a collision course. Is this team, I asked Jarrett and I asked Hunter, is LSU from a talent and a schematic perspective, are those teams that can compete with this Alabama Crimson Tide team, especially in Bryant-Denny Stadium?
I feel like for an offensive standpoint, LSU can compete with anybody in the country. But I feel like talent that LSU normally have, especially that defensive front, I feel like they still big and slow up front. Mm-hmm. They just got that one defensive end, Shavers. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that playing up the LSU standard on that defensive line and that front seven. And they got, but I do think they got the best cover corner in the country. And Stangley, their true freshman.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's just one man. He can't cover, all those with Alabama.
Yeah, I think, we're all looking forward to that matchup. It's pretty much a lock that I would assume it's going to be a 2:30 p.m. game. I wish it would be on prime time, but 2:30, I'll take it. I think it's going to be fun. DJ, when we look at the running backs for Alabama, you have Najee Harris, you have Brian Robinson. It looks like Najee Harris is really starting to shine. And I think that, not that he didn't shine, it just seemed like it took a while for Alabama's running game to get developed. It seemed like these guys weren't hitting the hole as hard as they needed to in the first couple games. What is your assessment of Najee Harris through the first couple games? Let's call it the midway point of the season.
At first, like the first couple games, I would have said those two were probably like the worst running backs of the Nick Saban era. But they just started been picking it up, and offensive line study been getting better around them. And but the tight end, he still ain't blocking nobody. Forrester. But overall, I think he's been doing good. And I think it's just the way the offense is, so it's not really geared towards the run this year. But he's been doing a great job of catching passes out of the backfield and doing the most they can with the carries they get.
Now you saw DJ yesterday. Finally, people have been asking me about this on the comment box. Antonio Alfano finally enters the NCAA transfer portal, taking off Alabama's roster. In your opinion, is that a big loss for the Alabama Crimson Tide going forward? Do you feel that, kind of what's your take on that? And feel free to ask any questions that I might be able to answer for you.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a big loss going forward. You hate to lose a talented player like that, because I think towards the end of the year he's gonna start contributing. On the second team defensive line, I think he's gonna keep getting better and better. But I just wish him the best, and I hope he get his life together. Maybe go to another school and have success. Because he's a young man, and college is just hard by itself. And not even talking about if you have family issues and stuff. So I just hope he be able to get that worked out, and wish him the best.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, DJ. I think, a lot of it is you come in. I mean, think about the overwhelming amount of just responsibility and stress that are thrown to these young men as they come in competing for positions at Alabama. And they all come in here and they're the top of their class or the top of their state, right? And you come in here and you're at the bottom of the barrel. And, you read the headlines, you're a 5-star, you should be playing. And when you're not playing, I think it's hard for a lot of these players not to be on the field, considering that they're, multi-year starters at their high school. But it takes time, and everybody is going to get a chance to shine eventually if they continue to work hard and stick with it. And I wish, same with you, I wish Antonio Alfano all the best. I don't think this is the last that we've heard of him. I don't think it was, the best exit for him, but we don't know the entire situation. If it is, more family issues and combined with the fact that he couldn't get on the field, so be it. We're moving forward, and currently Alabama has plenty of true freshmen that are getting reps, and Byron Young is one of them that has been a pleasant surprise, along with Justin Ebogbe, and of course DJ Dell. It's almost like DJ Dell's a sophomore, right? We don't even mention him with the freshmen anymore. We're just like,
doubt.
Yeah, he's like a sophomore. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Like I said, Alabama, like you said, you made some good points. Alabama not for everybody. That pressure, they put on them, and every kid, even like those backup and third string, they like legends in their hometown,
Yeah,
and then they come to Alabama. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I appreciate it, DJ. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Definitely calling in Sunday, and we'll wrap up Alabama and Tennessee as we continue to plug forward on the 2019 season.
Okay, I got one question for you. Do you think we'll see the walk-on P-Rod kick punt in this game? And I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, the walk-on punter, that is our team rider, Tony Tsoukalis'. That's like his story. That's his baby. He's been talking about this walk-on punter. You can go and read the story on BamaInsider.com. I don't know. I mean, this could potentially be the game Alabama desperately needs a punter. Will he get an opportunity Saturday night? Let's go with yeah. I think hopeful to see some sort of resurgence of the Alabama punting game. I'll take a couple more calls, though. 205-686-3604 coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Really enjoy living here. I say it again and again because I mean it. Really enjoy eating here at Voodoo Wings because the food is fantastic. I already told you about the wings. I told you about the fries. I told you about the potato salad, the banana bread pudding. Come in and tell them Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com sent you. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on our content so you can be notified each time we drop content related to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I would really appreciate you guys hitting that bell and subscribing to our content. And I would also appreciate if you guys would give us an opportunity to earn your business at BamaInsider.com. Free 30 days. Promo code is simply Roll Tide at checkout. You guys can drop some score predictions in the comment box if you guys would like. Take a couple more calls, and then I will dip out so I can get my Voodoo Wing on and get ready for Friday. Temperature dropped here. I think if you're coming to the game, you might want to bring jacket, layer up, because the evening temperature should dip against Tennessee, and which is going to be completely opposite compared to the past games that we've had here, that have been 110 down on the field. So definitely if you're coming to Tuscaloosa like tonight, I think it was like in the low 60s. So and for us Tuscaloosa natives now, it's like been 100 and some degrees. So that's a 40 degree different drop. So it's almost chilly, but yeah, Alabama, Tennessee, and then Alabama. I'm reading the schedule off here. Alabama will then take on. So I got they give us these at each media segment, and it has all the entire stats. It's got tons of information, regarding the Alabama Crimson Tide. So if you wonder where we get all the information, obviously we look it up, but they also supply us. The Alabama Athletics Department supply us with a lot of media information and a lot of paper. So Kyle, get them hot. Yeah, the Voodoo Wings is seems like a good medium. The flavors at the top is a bomb. Mango habanero. I've never tried the mango habanero. Tony tasted the sauce, and his face turned red, so I stayed away from that. I've already explained this, that I like the garlic parmesan, and I'm not sure if you guys are fans of that. But I do think it is strange if you don't have ranch with your wings. I think that's really strange. If you just eat your wings by itself, that's cool, but I mean, you definitely need some ranch. But maybe that's just me. All right, well, maybe that's a good ending point on the ranch dressing, so we can end out and I can dip out and get my wing on. But I appreciate you guys following us today. I know Andrew Bone had a show earlier. I had a show tonight, so you're spending, quite a bit of time on the YouTube channel. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys coming in. Enjoy your time if you're coming into Tuscaloosa. Soak it up. It should be a great weekend. And then Alabama will be taking on Arkansas the following week for homecoming. And, we'll be here. We'll be here next Thursday. I'll catch up with you guys Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us. Catch all the coverage at BamaInsider.com. I'm out. Be good people. Talk soon. See ya.